Alright, I'm going to be talking about the 8 different genres um, that I own. Um, from each genre, I'll be selecting the best books that I think that are the best for that genre. For example, in Autobiography, I think this is the best book for in Autobiography, and I have for I have nonfiction, crime, historical nonfiction, religion, um, and I have a few that I think that are good for those who wants to start reading a different type of genre. I think you should read the books that I'm going to tell you for a starter. As a if you want to start reading fiction, I think this is the best book for a fiction book. If you want to read something new, um, I'm going to start off by um, introducing my best autobiography book that I own. Um, I think this is the best autobiography that I own. Um, it's Wonders of Spiritual Unfoldment by John Butler, and I got this 3 years ago. I was scrolling through YouTube suggestions, and I found John Butler. This is John Butler. I found that he has his own YouTube channel of his own, and he just talks about how questions of the world that has, and he tries his best to answer them. And I think that um, his channel is great, and his books is great, and his storytelling is great. This is how it looks in the front and the back, and he just talks about his journey through the world and journey throughout life. He talks about every continent that he has explored, and the villages that he has visited, the people he has met, and just talks about his life in general. He started writing this book at the age of 20 and didn't finish writing this book at the age of 70 or 80. Um, this book is pretty new. Um, and and I haven't really finished reading the whole thing. I've been just reading from pages to pages because I've been getting distracted from reading other books. Right now I'm reading 3 other books at the same time, and I need to stop reading at the same time other books because otherwise I won't be able to finish um, books um, order. Um, well, and then I got these other books. This is a biography. I don't have the cover. I don't know why it didn't came with the cover. Um, but it's it's Tuesday with Morrie's by Mitch Albom. Um, it's just a great biography about this person. His name is Morrie, and Mitch talks about Morrie being his professor, and Mitch being the student, and Mitch finding out that Morrie got this disease, and Mitch went on to visiting him, um, because he was his professor, and it was a routine where he would visit Morrie every Tuesday, and he would talk about um, questions that Mitch had in mind, and just questions that Mitch never had an answer for them, and Morrie just made him his student again. Um, I read this book in 3rd grade. My teacher in 3rd grade, he assigned me this book to read with other students as well. Each student had different books. I ended up getting Tuesday with Morrie, and I never really paid attention to the book entirely in 3rd grade. I tried to memorize it, the whole thing. I tried to, because there was a quiz um, at the end of the 2 weeks the deadline, and I ended up passing the quiz, but without any understanding of the book. but now that I understand it, I don't know, it feels different, and it feels nice getting something out of a life, out of two life person in a book. It's like living the life of this person without actually dying and being born again. Um, and the next book, so okay, so we have two books: an autobiography, a biography. Now I'm going to be talking about a religion book, a Christian religious book. I have read multiple Christians and religious books um, throughout my 18 years of living. But I feel like if you want to start reading a religious book, more specifically Christian book, I would recommend this book. It's by Rees. Um, he's basically, after graduating from university, he becomes a missionary who goes to Africa and heals people and um, spread the gospel. And through that, he has multiple stories and things that are very good to learn if you want to start traveling, and more specifically God. If you have if you have questions or doubts over God, this book will answer the questions for you, and in a way that you could understand. And Reese, um, he mentions multiple people and a couple of books that could lead more into more Christianity, and it's like a rabbit hole if you're really interested in Christianity and religion. Um, I got this book because of during the pandemic. I had a lot of questions and I was doubting a lot of things, and I had to have to just explore the world and just I had a lot of questions. In this book, among with other books, obviously helped me answer the questions I had about the world and about God. And this is a good book if you want to start reading religions books or Christianity. And we got three right now, and right now I want to talk about politics, science, and social science and politics. I don't really read much of politics and social science. I just got this book because of my medical field courses that I'm taking. Um, there's courses that I have to take in humanities, and this was for some reason in the humanities section, and after reading it for a class, I learned a lot about the social class and the society that we living in. Even though this talks about different parts of the world and different social classes, I learned a lot, and different types of people. It talks about especially the bottom class, and this is the front cover. This is the back. Want to start reading politics or any social science book, and you want to start getting into it, this should be your first book. It explains everything well, the fundamentals and principles of the world we're living in, and not just that, but it talks about this man's life, going into that field and going into the world, and just exposing the truth about the world and how we are living in his point of view, and his in his shoes, right? And the next one I would like to talk about is crime, right? Um, crime. This I used to read a lot of crime books when I was younger, but out of all of them, this what grabbed my attention. This one book, Unholy Sacrifice. These are three brothers and one sister. No, two brothers and one sister. And it's a good book if you want to start reading crime. many crime books don't really have pictures in them and evidence about the places and and about the people that committed the crime. But this one has a few of them. It has 20 pages of I think around 7 pages of the book. It has pictures of the people, the places, the things that were used, and it's just great because it gives you more insights and just it makes you feel that you're actually getting something out of it. And what I thought was interesting is the title of the book, Brothers by Law. Wait, it's Brothers by Blood and Crime by Choice, Killers by Choice, and I think that's funny because of what the story is telling and how these brothers were, the point where they made the choice to do the crime. And yeah, it's a good book if you want to start getting into crime. And yeah, the next book that I want to talk about is another of Mitch Albom's book. This is the genre of historical fiction. If you want to start reading into historical fiction or any kind of fiction, I would recommend you to start out with this one. It's a good book, and it talks about the era of the Nazis and Jews, where the main character is this kid named Nico. He's 11 years old, and it talks about of his family and the people around him, the Jews, and at the end it starts getting more detail, the Nazis and the reservations, those kinds of events. And it's called The Little Liar by Mitch Albom. There's a front cover and there's the back cover. Out of all the historical nonfiction that I read, I think this one's the winner for now. Yeah. It's I'm not gonna say much out of all the books I've said about. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's just a good book. I have owned a lot of Mitch Albom's books because I just think that Mitch Albom is great. And if you're have been looking for any new authors to read, I would recommend the author of Mitch Albom for you guys to check out. And yeah, next genre that I have is poetry. I own a couple of books in poetry, not that much, around 12, and this book is what I think is the best out of the 12, right? It's called Inward. Here's the front cover and there's the back cover. It's titled Inward by Young Pueblo, and I think it's a good poetry book. Many poetry books don't have this many pages, and I think having this many pages in a poetry book is great because you get to read more poetry, right, in the same book that you have selected, and because of the same author and the same topic. Obviously, it's changed different topics, but but the point is that you're in the same field and the same idea of what you're reading, right? So you want to get into poetry and not sure what book you want to start with. I will recommend with Inward by Young Pueblo. And the last book that I have in my list is it's a romance book. This is actually the first romance book I ever read. This is the front cover, Better Than the Movies, and this is the back cover. It's by Lynn Painter. by Lynn Painter. I think after reading it around an year and a half ago, it's a good book. Being my first time, and I would recommend anybody that if you want to get into romance book, you should read Better Than Movies as your first romance book. So I went over from autobiographies, biographies, poems, crime, religion to romance and fiction. But these are just the books that are the best for now in the genres. I'll definitely do another video of this later on. Yeah, thank you.